What's going on, people? Long time I ain't been on StreamYard. Just, messing around over here on StreamYard. Haven't been over here in a minute. Shout out to the people coming in. Shout out to the people coming in. Great conversation last night. Conscious Corner, um, get the word out. Men of age having the conversation. And, you know, it might not be a like for everybody. It might be a like for everybody. You decide. I put the channel in the description. Go over there, sub. Give a view. They had a great discussion last night, and the focus was on your mental health. During the holiday season, you get a lot of people going to a real big part of depression, and mainly is due to a lack of that communication with family and friends, have issues that furthermore put you in a bind or situation that you really can't get yourself out of, more or less. Wellness for frugal mama, what's going on with you? And it comes to a point in which a lot of people are not having the conversation. What's going on, Bron? A lot of people are not having a conversation, and these guys had a great breakdown about this. You know, sharing their viewpoints on things that happen in their life. And like I said, the link is in the description. You can go check that video out last night. I think I actually shared the actual video last night that they did, and it weighed heavy. It had merits on there to where you know focusing on your life, trying to figure things out, and going through things in the process, it gets kind of strenuous. Most of the time, when you don't have that support system, it's even harder, man. You know, growing up, I've told a story before. It's not like my father left or anything; he just passed. So me having to figure things out and having role models to take the place of my father not being in the house. So to the ones that didn't have fathers, wasn't around, as they call them, deadbeat dads, or issues with the mom and the dad couldn't be there. I was almost similar in that boat, so that's why I had outsource of men that poured into me and showed me to be the man that I am. Coaches, uncles, you know, if the man ain't in the household, they can't really mold as much. It's only so much they can do within a certain amount of time of being around you compared to always in the house, always being around the young man. So that plays a big part. Also for the women, you know, I was talking with some young guys yesterday. I was telling them that, a father in the house plays a big part because, these are some young high school kids. And I was telling them as well, you know, a father in a young woman's life, she she's more, to a degree ready than most women because they don't see that discipline, from a male's perspective. So it's like the disrespect for men go that far. If you don't have that, especially for a young man as well, you don't give respect to a man because you don't see that at your own home. That's why I say the role models play a big part in that. If you're constantly seeing someone's in these young men and these young women face giving them discipline, it's not hard for them to take criticism or discipline from anybody or elder giving them respect. You know, I've always told my sons, you don't tell anybody, yeah, all this. Give yes sir, no sir, or just yes and no if you're gonna say anything. But that y'all all don't cut for that, you know. And that was the one thing I remember. I was a grown man, and I was working at a movie company. I think I was about 20 years old or night. I think I was like 20 or 21. Legally can drink a beer, legally can buy cigarettes. But when it came down to it, these guys I work with, they was like, Where's Linda at? Hey, go tell Linda what does she want to put this dress at? And me listening to them, I just say, excuse me, Linda, I got hit. I think it was like three guys. All three of them punched me in the back. They was like, hey, 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 what you doing? Man, that lady old enough to be your mama, your grandma. You said, Miss Linda, and I'm talking about me being a grown man. Like I said, I'm able to drink. So those guys molded me and was like, you still show respect. Even one of my elders, well, he's not that much of an older guy, but he's pretty much in his 50s, going on the 60s. But he was telling me, even him being an older man, he still teaches himself to say yes sir and no sir to young kids to show them, hey, this is the respect I'm giving you. So I think I need that in return. And I'm like, yes, that is a good thing. But getting into the topic, during the holidays, a lot of people go through situations where they actually need a helping hand or a push, to get over that hump. There are a lot of situations to where depression sets in because this is a bad time for some people. Some people may have lost loved ones around this time, and it's hard for them to shake those feelings. You know, one of my friends from YouTube, doing 19, he lost, I believe, in the order of his mother 1 year, then the next year lost his brother. And, this is tough. This is a tough time for him. So, this time right here, this is why I'm going to be reaching out to him the most because, this where it really hits him around the holidays. And then you figure all those traditions, if you haven't been in a traditional family that does traditional things, it kind of hurts on the holidays because you remember the traditions that you have, like stocking stuff. Our kids will never experience a lot of stuff like that because it's a tradition that a lot of people just don't do no more. The tradition of, you know, stocking stuff and stocking the socks, putting them on the stocking stuffings, putting them up there on the chimney. I mean, on the mantle. Most people don't even have fireplaces in their house. Um, the tree. A lot of people don't put up trees anymore. Christmas is for the kids. My son is 13 years old. He still wants to put the tree up, light it up, and everything. I remember when they were young, my wife, she just wasn't having that spirit of putting the tree up like she normally did. So I went and bought a 3 foot tree, put it on the coffee table, and let my boys decorate this up. I said, "This is your tree. Every year you go get your tree, you open it up, get the ornaments out, and you put your ornaments on your tree." And I made it specific to where I would get certain ornaments for them that wouldn't break, like those glass ones. Get something that's plastic. Get the little felt to go around, the little Christmas lights for it, the star, the Santa Claus, whatever they want to put on the top of that tree. And that was their tree, you know. And when my wife wanted the big spirit of the Christmas, get the big old tree, the 6 foot tall tree, put it up, get the ladder so they can put the Santa on there or whatever, or the star. We had all that. And that was the thing, getting the kids into the spirit of Christmas. Like I said, traditions get passed down. That's prime example. My aunt, love my aunt to death. I'm gonna be hitting her up for the holidays more too. Um, my cousin passed last year, a little bit before this time, but my aunt, she was one of the ones that had me look at the holidays different. Every year was always the same thing. Same thing you eat for Thanksgiving, same thing you eat for Christmas. My aunt, she would always try to keep Christmas traditional or, vice versa. But, one of the holidays is going to remain traditional, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas. But the other holiday, we switched it up. One year she did a barbecue, all barbecue in the wintertime, coats in the wintertime outside with the barbecue grill going, and trying to keep a fire going in the winter it's a challenge. You got to have those charcoals just right. Have some wood in there, get a good burn on it. But we grill for Christmas one year. Had sausage, ribs, hamburgers, chicken, grilled salmon, shrimp, all this stuff on the grill. You know, potato salad, beans, everything like you just coming straight from a barbecue. You know, that was good. Then me and my wife, we did the same thing. We stepped it up a notch one year. We did a seafood. I think it was 2 years ago. I think I even have it on my channel. But I did a seafood Thanksgiving. I had everything from a crab boil. I had all kinds. I did the bubble gum. I call it the bubble gum shrimp. I had everything from the scampi to the butterfly. All these multiple different types of shrimp that I had. Coconut shrimp. What is the one we get from the store? It's not parsley. It's parmesan. Parmesan shrimp. All these different shrimps I had. The scampi, coconut, orange chicken. I mean orange shrimp. All these different types of shrimps I had. Um, had salmon. You know, had chopped in squares. I had some of them deep fried salmon balls. I had grilled salmon. Um, my wife likes snapper, so I put some snapper on the grill. Do all that for Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, the macaroni and cheese, of course. Gotta have your mac and cheese. Gotta have your lobster. I wanted to put the crab meat in the macaroni and cheese, but my wife, she's like, that's going overboard. But I also had like a crab salad. Had a crab salad. So given to it, like I literally had a lot of stuff for seafood. Oh yeah, don't you can't forget the cheddar biscuits, like the red lobster. I had that as well. You know, so going into hash browns, the hush puppies, just a lot of stuff from seafood. You know, so it was a big choice. Of course, we had the corn and the potatoes and the eggs and the crab bowl. You know, we had to have some collard greens, green beans. Got to have some greens. And as always, kids like mac and cheese, so made the mac and cheese as well. But the point of reference is, like I said, being around that time, it's heartwarming to have family and friends around. You know, some people don't have that close knit with their family, so you start traditions with other family members, friends. April showers, morning to you. And you literally have a lot of times to where you get those traditions started to help you get over those humps, to where you can keep the memories going. You know, some people older in their age, they don't have a lot of people come around. You know, you have the memories, you have the pictures. My aunt always say, when it comes down to it, make sure if the house burned down, grab my picture album because I can't get those pictures back. I need those memories. When I'm older, I can sit back, look at pictures, and remember all these good things. And that's like the biggest thing that I've always taken from that. Take several pictures, a lot of pictures. My younger boys, I take a lot of pictures of them. You know, I want to have these memories for a lifetime. You know, when I get older, I want to hold these pictures and cherish them. You know, a lot of times people aren't printing no more. They have a virtual album. I still like to go out, find a CVS, Walgreens, one of those places that does print pictures in an hour or so long, or I can print them at home myself. But I want to have those pictures because if anything, I could always have them digital. But if something happened, I lost all the pictures. I'd rather have a shoebox of pictures, keeping them in for keepsake, than to just have them digital and something happen along the way. Because I can always go back and scan the pictures and have a digital copy again. You know, so there's a lot of stuff like it starts to help with your mental. Then another thing too is talking to people. You know, make sure you're talking to the right person, but get your mindset ready for life by talking to somebody that's gonna, you know, motivate you, help you, you know, go through your woes and walk you through your stress. That's a good friend. I seen this post this morning. to where person said, I had a friend going through a situation, needed some money. I gave him $300, no questions asked. But when I needed my hair done, it was like $200-300. They was like, "You're gonna pay $300 for a hairdo?" Then turned around, they had a friend, same friend. Oh man, I ain't got no groceries in the house. Sent over groceries to him, like sent them a groceries from Walmart or something. Just ordered all these groceries and sent it to their house, deliver them. They're like, I don't know who did this. Friend told him, yeah, I did it. Ah man, thank you. Then as time went on, friends at work saying, man, I'm hungry. Man, I ain't got nothing to eat. All I got is these noodles. Jay's like, dang, you down bad. All you eating is noodles. And the moral of it is you can't get people to react the same way you react. And I always say this about, matching energy. If somebody slaps me and I stab them, you can't tell me how to respond the way I need to respond to you. If you do something to me, I don't have to slap you back. I can kick you. I can do whatever. But the whole point of reference to that story and what I'm saying is, in most of these cases, people are not going to react the same way you react. So when you're talking to people, you got to have that intuition to say, I can talk with this person. They're going to help me go through this hump. They're going to help me get up. If that person is not that type of person, you might want to kick it to yourself because more or less these are the people that open your life for the bad to everybody. Having a friend that comes around only to you know take your negative issues and push it out to other friends and to the world like, oh man, I got a broke friend. This guy stay broke. He don't have no money, but yet you got money you can help. Ah man, I got a friend, man, this guy. And it happens like that sometimes. You know, if they put themselves first above all else, borrowing money, never want to pay it back. But at the same time, as friends, you're supposed to be nice to me because of that. We're friends. So, like I said, that sets a lot of times bad emotions. Dealing with friendships that's going wrong, dealing with family members that put you in the bind or have issues with over time, it gets to the point where it be overbearing. And a lot of people don't know how to focus off that. A lot of people have issues with that, mainly because the stress of going through life, trying to figure things out, it gets hard over time. Very hard. And when it comes to that point, like, what are you naturally gonna do to help yourself? Like I said, you can talk to people. There's counselors you can go to, but overall, it's a mental game. It's you trying to focus on being a better you by getting the help. It's a mental game. A lot of people can overcome things in life and stress by themselves because who love you better than you? Same thing. I seen another quote coming from Damon Dash. And a lot of people look at him as conceited sometimes because he gives himself more or less all the praise. And he had an argument with this guy and telling the guy, where's your Achilles? You need to humble yourself. He said, I don't need to humble myself for anything because I'm the only one that's going to praise me. I'm the only one that's going to give myself the flowers before anybody else would. And that's facts. You know, it's a time of being humble, showing gratitude, showing thanks. And then there's a time where you should be lifting your hand up to win. And that's in most cases where, like I said, people who are going through issues, they know how to handle themselves and get over. But if you can't, there's always a way of seeking help, you know. And that's what I try to tell a lot of people that go through their issues. If you can't fight and go through these struggles alone, there's always help. And a lot of us, we neglect the help because we want to live in our depression. You have people that you can talk to them. overcome these issues. If you don't have nobody to talk to, there's therapy. There's always ways of handling situations by taking the negative side. You know, I used to talk to a girl that used to cut herself in high school. I never understood that, you know, and I talked her out of it, and I'm like, why? What is the issue of cutting? You know, it gives her a sense of relief because she never had anybody to talk to. So once I got her mindset away from cutting, you know, she focused more on, okay, you're going to be my counselor. You're going to be the person I talk to mentally that's going to help me. Then over time, it led to her saying, okay, I can do this on my own. I don't need you. So if you're not around, I can have that support for myself. And that's the biggest thing. A lot of people need help, but you got to get over that hump, knowing the knowledge and understanding yourself. A lot of people live life as them, but don't even understand it. Rephrasing that, you're not comfortable in your own skin. You need to be helping you, but it takes the motivation of you learning yourself. You know, sometimes be alone to yourself. You know how many people never went on a date with themselves? I've had mental clarity, even married, to a point where I just went out and ate by myself. My wife does this all the time, and she got me to a point of doing things like that. Sometimes you just need time to yourself. No kids, no husband, no wife. You just need to focus on the clarity of you. And that's mainly where a lot of people lose their self. You know, they don't pay enough attention for them. Women are big with this. My wife goes and get her hair done. She go get her nails done. She pampers herself. You know, as men, look at it slightly different. You know, going to a game, hanging out with the fellas, you know, just doing something that you enjoy doing. Like right as of now, helping with coaching, like I love the sport of wrestling. This gives me some clarity to, you know, just be happy. You know why? Because I love the game. I love the sport. You know, I don't need to just be in a room, sitting down by myself, you know, or going out to eat with myself, you know, having that self. I feel open, better network of people talking, teaching, helping. It helps. You know, people go through depression alone when they have people that can help them. But like I said, motivating yourself to open up to them. There's a lot of people that don't open up to their help. And guess what? You you never break through. You never get to a point of being better because you're so focused on what if they judge me different. That's the whole point of having somebody you can trust. That's the whole point of, you know, if the chips are down, situations, you know this person has your back. You know, whether it be family members or friends. Sometimes they always say blood is thicker than water. But you gotta understand, sometimes just because you're family, you don't have to be through the bloodline. You know, there's always you have friends that treat you better than your family do at times. So I hit the like button coming in. Appreciate you coming in, comment. But just right now, just talking. I put a link in the chat. I'm sorry, link in my description of this video about the conscious counseling. They had a discussion on depression and going through anxiety and issues. Great conversation they had last night. Go and check that video out. I mean, understand when you put yourself in a light, you know, to shine, that light can be dull at times. That's the point of getting yourself reassured, you know, the focus to be bright again. And a lot of people just need that extra push, you know, and it's just a mental clarity to where you can or you can be more focused on things. Talking it out to people, giving a helping hand. You know, one of the reasons why I like wrestling for the sport, You shake hands at the beginning of a match, you shake hands at the end of a match. A lot of times they do that with mixed martial arts, taekwondo, judo, anything to that, because you're showing the respect of a person. In my opinion, it's very hard for two people after someone just beat you up, or even if you win, to shake a person's hand. It takes a lot of control. It takes, being humble to, get beat and still have good sportsmanship. You know, Country Hutch was going on. Lisa J was going on. How you doing, Lisa J? You hear about all the stuff that's going on with this money and the crypto and the stock market booming now. But like I said, going into it, just having that clarity. And I do this with my boys as well. I teach my kids this all the time. You know, getting into a focus, because as kids go up, you have this block within the scale of a parent and a child trying to overcome things. You literally have society is pushing, the separation between the parent and their child. So it's up to the parents to reassure their kids that, hey, for mental clarity, I'm the parent. I'm here for you. You know, there's always going to be problems, but we can work through this together. That's one of the big things where a lot of people lose focus on, especially is bringing their kids up. You see your kids, but you don't actually see your kids. You look at your kids mainly as, hey, my kid, they do right, this and that. But the understanding of your child, throughout, they look like this, there's an issue. They have a problem, you notice these things, you want to get them to open up to you. You know, more you start talking to your kids and open them up with things, start opening their minds. I talk about life insurance. I have a brother that talks about stocks with my kids. Getting them to the mindset, hey, you can make an abundance of money. You can do so many things for your life, but it takes you having the knowledge and learn, opening your mouth. And like I said, it goes back into that depression where if kids are being bullied at school and you don't know, you can't help a situation you don't know. You know, if you have a situation to where, kids are depressed because all these other kids get all these expensive things, clothes, toys, phones, get them that reassuring understanding that, hey, we don't have an abundance of money. So we have to, make sure the money's going into the right places, you know, and sometimes you have to humble your kids by showing them, hey, look at these kids here that don't have anything compared to you having something, you know. There's things that I admit that I might be wrong on, that I didn't achieve the greatest in the work and education to where I could have these expensive things to buy for you. But, reassuring them, letting them know that, hey, these are things that you can buy for yourself when you have a job. Well, you have more options. I can only provide you with so much. The rest, you get it on a timely manner. You might can't get a brand new pair of shoes every month, but you get some just about every season. 4 seasons out the year. Um, Same thing applies to with clothes. Same thing applies, because it's depressing going to school. Me being a young man, it wasn't more depressed with me. It was just more or less a feeling of being left out. Seeing everybody have all these new things. I want the new things as well. I want the brand new shoes. So it got to a point where I understood we couldn't afford everybody to get new shoes because it's like 4 of us, you know, and that's a lot of money. Understanding when I start buying my own clothes, spending money on my dues, when I got to high school for my sports, That's when I started more or less knowing the value of money. Until then, as a kid, you would always think if your parents go to work, why they don't have no money? Then you start finding out paying bills, start finding out what bills are being paid and how much is being paid, and it's crazy. So, like I said, for the mental clarity, you know, around this time, it gets kind of depressing, not having that family structure, not having those traditional things, and not having those family members around, you know. So having those memories and you know being uplifted, being uprooted out of that depression by going around other family members that give you joy. That's the great success. When you have an issue in one area, you strike up and have a better in another. So when it comes down to it, to say the least, a lot of times, man, focusing more on the good than the bad helps the situation. Focusing more on everything that's benefiting, you know, that's the great situation. What's going on, young Riaz? But I'm about to get ready to jump off of here just, in a minute. But just like I'm saying, helping yourself evolve, helping yourself get over the hump, it takes time. You know, Rome wasn't built in a night. Some people know themselves. Some people know how to challenge things to kind of overthrow those thoughts. Some people know not even have those thoughts. Some people truly know how to get over situations in their life easier than others because they had role models, family members, from fathers to mothers, even uncles, grandparents that taught them about life not being so burdensome to where they can focus mainly on what? Helping themselves. So when it comes down to it, what are the things that people are going to need to help themselves? A lot of times we lose focus on the issue at hand. And the issue at hand sometimes put us in a bind to where we can't naturally go through the process of being a better us. So at the end of the day, we lose sight of a lot of things that can help us. We lose sight of a lot of things because, like I say, when depression sets in, you don't have nobody to talk to. Guess what? The biggest thing that can help you with depression? Working out. It gets your mind off being depressed because you're trying to reach a goal. A lot of people use that method when they're smokers. Heavy drinkers, they get to a point of working out, trying to take care of their body, and they lose track of all the things that they want to grab a cigarette. You're hitting the gym, you're sweating, you know, getting those toxins out. Those cravings come. But that's the thing. Winging off things are hard. Liquor, smoking cigarettes, even drug abuse. You know how hard it is for some people to stop doing drugs? You know, some people have a lot of good intervention. I talked to this guy one time. I did transportation. I was talking to a guy that actually did heroin and crack. He said it was one night he was sitting there watching the televangelist, got on his knees, prayed, threw all the drugs in the trash can, and ain't touched it since. Guy was clean for 13 years when I talked to him. He overcame that by himself, not going to rehab, not going to nothing that's helping him to wing yourself off of these drugs. Because they do have drugs that you can take that give you in small doses to help you wing yourself off. But then mental state of mind and clarity can help you get over anything. Like I said, there are some people that can work through things themselves, talk to themselves, benefit themselves without nobody helping them. It's a blessing. Like you literally, a drug addict, just say, "Hey, I don't want to smoke drugs no more, and I'm done." Walk away from it, clean and sober. Don't have the urge to want to do it anymore. And when the urge comes, they know how to talk themselves off that cliff. because that's the biggest thing. Doing drugs and being addicted for doing something for so long is just like talking yourself off a cliff. In that same scenario of should you jump or shouldn't you jump? Because when you jump, there goes the drugs, there goes the alcohol, all the things that follow. So, like I say, for the ones that don't, reach out to family members, reach out to friends. You got counselors, somebody that you can trust that have your best interests. That's the biggest issue where a lot of people, face. They don't have nobody they can talk to. And one of the biggest issues that I see in relationships, if you're married and you can't tell your significant other things that's going on in your life, that's a kind of a bad way to go. Bad way, bad scenario to handle and do things. You should be able to talk to your significant other about anything. You should be able to focus more on things that can help you and put some clarity in your life. And with all that being said, shout out to everybody. It's a quick one. Let you know what I always say when I get out of here. We here and we gone. Take care of yourself. Take care of your wealth. Peace.